started with a tractor. Ferruccio challenged Ferrari, and a legend was born. The Miura, the Countach, the Diablo, pure revolution on wheels. Lamborghini doesn't make cars, it makes untamed beasts. Radical design, brutal noise, 100% Italian DNA. Designed by a human. This is not official. It's a vision powered by artificial intelligence.
Today, the roar of the bull is reborn, not as a leap into the void, but as a guided evolution. We asked artificial intelligence what the future of Lamborghini might look like, but we didn't give it freedom. We gave it purpose. We gave it character. We gave it history. This isn't a random experiment. It's a controlled exploration where every line, every shadow, every gesture has been refined by the hand of a designer who not only respects the legacy, but projects it forward. 4 visions, 4 possible paths, 4 futures, all starting from the same place: emotion.
Lamborghini, a word that no longer needs an introduction. Today, when we see a Lamborghini, we don't just see a car. We see a statement, a visual roar that shatters convention, a design language that has evolved over decades without ever losing its wild, theatrical, untamable essence. For decades, Lamborghini has been more than a brand. It has been a declaration, a voice rising above the noise, a silhouette that slices the wind with surgical precision. And while today we talk about the future, we cannot take a single step forward without honoring the roar that brought us here. This first phase represents the extended present, heritage, reinterpreted. It's a tribute to the brand's DNA, sharp, aggressive, unmistakable. Tense lines, razor-cut shapes, complex volumes, air intakes that bite, slashed headlights, dramatic surfaces. Every centimeter is designed to provoke, and yet there is control. A geometric precision that echoes aerospace design. Here, form follows function without ever sacrificing spectacle. Because Lamborghini isn't just performance, it's visual art, a sculpture in motion. Artificial intelligence has understood this duality, and that's why the images you're about to see are not mere recreations. They are tributes, reinterpretations of the brand's current spirit, with an eye trained on symmetry, aggression, and stage presence. There are no surprises here, only refinement, only evolution. As if the Lamborghini you already know, the Huracan, the Revuelto, the Urus, had gone through a digital purification process, eliminating the noise, sharpening the soul. It's the Lamborghini that already exists, but like you've never seen it before. The lines you see now didn't come from nowhere. They are born from a story forged in the fire of V12 engines, polished by the fury of competition, shaped by an obsession with the sculptural, the dramatic, the impossible. Look at the proportions, still familiar, yet more extreme. The low, sharp nose, the flanks tense like muscles before a leap, the windshield almost horizontal, like the fighter jets that inspired the first Countach. These nods to the past aren't nostalgia. They're anchors to keep the soul intact in the storm of innovation. Here, AI does not invent. It translates. It listens to the pulse of history and transforms it. Air intakes remain violent, yes, but now they are smarter, more integrated. Tension lines still aggressive, but softened by unexpected elegance, as if the raging bull had learned the control of a feline. Light takes on a new role. Look at the optical patterns. Those LED signatures aren't just functional. They're technological jewels, blades of light that slice the night. Each one speaks its own visual language, yet they all scream the same thing. I am a Lamborghini. And still, there is a new rhythm beneath it all. A more digital beat, more mathematical, colder, maybe, but guided. It's not chaos. It's artificial order with a human soul. Because don't forget this, behind every decision made by this AI, there is a human hand that whispered, yes, here, no, there. We're not pushing a button. We are sculpting with a new chisel. Look at the details of this phase as if you were in a museum from the near future. There's no improvisation here. Everything is thought through. Volumes that seem to float, yet still have weight. A stance that still says, I own this road. Surfaces that reflect not just the world around them, but the philosophy of those who conceived them. This isn't just design, it's character. And still, you know this isn't the end. You feel it. Because in these designs, there is still a fear of losing the recognizable silhouette, of letting the line become so free that it no longer feels like a Lamborghini. That's why this first phase is filled with respect. Respect for what we were, for what we are. But it's also a promise that what's coming will go beyond. So breathe. Look closely at each of these concepts. They are the final echo of one era and the first heartbeat of the next. They are Lamborghini, recognizing itself in the mirror just before the transformation begins. Here, the machine begins to transform. The second phase takes us into a more aerodynamic language, more fluid, more sophisticated. It doesn't lose an ounce of visual power, but its edges soften. Its silhouette sharpens. It adapts to an environment where the wind is the sculptor. The lines now flow in harmony. The wheel arches are seamlessly integrated. The air intakes melt into the bodywork like controlled wounds. The design recalls Le Mans prototypes, where every curve serves a purpose. Where air doesn't fight the car, it embraces it. Artificial intelligence has envisioned a Lamborghini that doesn't just slice through the air, but dances with it. A supercar that sets aside extreme theatricality to embrace an almost silent elegance, more refined, more mature, as if the roar turned into a deep, powerful melody. Here we see cleaner lights, tighter surfaces, less angular, a hidden sensuality beneath pure efficiency, as if Lamborghini sought to seduce without shouting, as if it understood that the future doesn't need volume. It needs precision. It's the balance between the radical and the rational, a more evolved way to intimidate. The story of Lamborghini cannot be told without speaking of form. Not just the spectacular design that defines it, but the pure geometry that lies deep in its DNA. In this phase, artificial intelligence explores a language that goes beyond the superficial. It dives into the very essence of the brand. It interprets design as if it were Italian sculpture, carved with a digital scalpel. The edges are sharp, the surfaces maximally stretched, the proportions become sculptural, and there's something mystical about this reinterpretation, as if the Miura, the Countach, the Diablo were whispering into the AI's ear. Everything has been simplified to let the form speak. Master lines intersect with surgical precision, clean volumes, no unnecessary ornaments, a formal architecture closer to industrial design than traditional automotive aesthetics. And yet, this is not a look at the past. It's an homage to the principles that created the legend. A return to the origin, but seen through the lens of the future. As if a young Ferruccio, with access to 21st century tools, were sketching his very first supercar. AI doesn't copy. It interprets, reimagines, synthesizes, and here, it does so with respect, with depth, with restraint, a restraint that conveys serenity, precision, and silent power. This is the most contemplative moment of the video, where speed comes to a halt, and the viewer breathes alongside the car, as if we were inside a futuristic gallery, in front of an object that represents the best of humanity and of the machine, the soul of Lamborghini, now reinterpreted by artificial intelligence. And suddenly, everything changes, as if a portal opened to a parallel universe. This final phase is an extreme vision, a leap into tomorrow. Here, there is no past, no tradition, no limits, only infinite possibilities. This is a Lamborghini born in a world where human driving is optional, where roads are intelligent hyperways, and luxury merges with the synthetic, with the digital, with the unknown. The designs you see now aren't just conceptual, they are provocations, visual statements that challenge everything we thought we knew. Unpredictable volumes, functional asymmetries, active aerodynamics in every inch. Lights that don't just illuminate, they communicate. Surfaces that shift with temperature, wind, or speed. Cabins that no longer need to face the driver, because this car can make its own decisions. This future Lamborghini doesn't roar. It vibrates. It floats. It glides. Its silhouette resembles a spaceship more than a car. And yet, every detail holds intention, order, and engineering logic that seems born from an alien mind or an AI that has crossed the boundary of what it means to be human. This is the final chapter of the video, but also the beginning of a question. What if the next great supercar designer is not a person, but a collective intelligence trained to move us? Maybe, just maybe, this is how the icons of the 21st century will look.
And if this visual journey has moved you, made you dream, or simply made you see cars in a different way, imagine what's coming. On this channel, we don't just explore design. We explore what drives us, what inspires us, what connects us to something bigger than a machine. So if you want to keep seeing how art, technology, and emotion collide on four wheels, subscribe, leave a like, and join us on the next journey, because this doesn't end here. We're just getting started.